بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers, sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A program about the parables of Al-Quran. And in today's session we are going to take verse number 266 of Surah Al-Baqarah, the second surah in Al-Quran. Now this parable is about a person who has acquired a lot of good deeds in his life. And he thinks that with all those deeds he is going to enter into Al-Jannah without any obstacle at all. But what happens that this person in his old age commits a major sin. And among the major sins is to associating gods with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to commit shirk. And because of that, all his previous good deeds are rendered null and void. Now this person does not enter into Al-Jannah, but he ends up into the hellfire. That is the example which is going to be explained in this ayah. So let us read that parable first. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أيود أحدكم أن تكون له جنة من نخيل وأعناب تجري من تحتها الأنهار له فيها من كل الثمرات وأصابه الكبر وله ذرية ضعفاء فأصابها إعصار فيه نار فاحترقت كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون. Now let us take the translation of this ayah. Does any of you wish that he should have a garden with dates, palms, and vines, and streams flowing underneath, and all kinds of fruit, while he is stricken with old age, and his children are not strong enough to look after themselves, that it should be caught in a whirlwind with fire therein, and be burnt up. Thus doth Allah make clear to you His signs, that ye may consider. Now the whole picture is now in front of us. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us through this parable. First of all, the parable that a person got a big garden with lot of trees, palm trees, vines, and many others. وَلَهُ فِيهَا min kulli samarat. He got all the types of fruits there. And this person thinks that I got enough substance for me by which I can survive, my children can survive. This is what he thinks. But what happens that at one night a whirlwind strikes that orchard, and that whirlwind got fire into it. Everything is burnt. Everything is burnt completely. And that is the very same picture we are going to read in the form of the story of the people of a garden in Surah Al-Qalam. Inshallah, we are going to explain it when the time comes for that surah to be explained. Here we are concerned about this parable only, that this person who thinks that he got enough substance for him to survive in his old age, and he got children as well, but the children are very young. Either they are too young to take care of the orchard, or they are too feeble, too weak, they can't handle the whole orchard. The person relies upon his wealth, but he does not know that this wealth is going to be destroyed in just one single night. When this storm or this whirlwind has struck it, burnt it, destroyed it, completely nothing is left at all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do you like such type of situation? Of course not. The answer is, of course not. You don't like this situation at all. So, by this parable we come to understand that if a person got good deeds throughout his life, he should not commit any major sin which is going to render all his good actions to null and void. Now, among the major sins, for example, is to leave a will of injustice, a will in which you have committed injustice to some of your heirs. Many people do that. A person has lived a very good life. He was known with prayer, with zakat, with fasting, with hajj. He was a pious person, but what happened to him? That before he died, he made a will. And in that will, he deprived some of his heirs. And he has given some who does not deserve anything at all. Of course, to have 1/3 of your assets, leaving it for a charity, that is possible, that is allowed. But what we are discussing here, to deprive some of your inheritors, your heirs, from the rightful share they are going to receive. That is known as al-jawru fil wasiyah, injustice in the will. By doing this injustice in the will, the person has ended up with a very big blunder, with a very big mistake. It is not mistake, it is sin. And this is how his good actions are wasted completely. And this is why it is said that what is going to count, that is the end of a person. In Arabic it is said, al-ibratu bil khawatim. You have to judge a person with his end, how he is going to die. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O believers, fear Allah as He should be feared. ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون, and you must not die except in the state of Islam. What does it mean? You must not die except in the state of Islam. Death is not under your control. You can't die with your own will. So what it means is that you must not do any act of disobedience. You must not commit any sin any time. So when the death comes, it would not come while you are sinning, while you are disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you are not disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever the death comes, it comes in the state of obedience of yours. This what is meant by this ayah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. And we have cases of such people who wanted to give everything in charity, and they want to make this will, like the case of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, who said to the Prophet ﷺ when he was very ill in Mecca, he said that I got only one daughter, and so can I give in charity a great part of my wealth? And the Prophet ﷺ said no. He said, can I give in charity half of my wealth? And the Prophet ﷺ said no. And then the Prophet said 1/3. And even 1/3 is a great amount. Is a great amount. And then he said that لَإِن تَظَرَ وَرَثَتَكَ أَغْنِيَاءَ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَن تَظَرَهُمْ عَالَةً يَتَكَفَّفُونَ النَّاسِ. It is better for you to leave your heirs rich enough to survive than to leave them beggars, begging other people. So Prophet ﷺ encouraged him that leave something for your heirs. for your sons and daughters. There is nothing wrong with that. If you want to give anything in charity, there is a limit of that, and that limit is 1/3 of your assets. Of course, if a person wants to give a great amount of charity, he can do it in his lifetime. You can give whatever amount you want to give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we have said about Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala an, that he has given everything, whatever he got before the expedition of Tabuk, when our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam appealed for donation. So it is quite possible. But what is not allowed is to leave everything for one year, leaving the others. And we have seen such things happening, that a person says that all my assets belong to my wife, and then he does not mention his father, his mother, who are still surviving. Just deprives them of their share which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read Surah An-Nisa, and in Surah An-Nisa all the shares of each person are mentioned in that surah. And this is why it is said even by the non-Muslims that the way the inheritance of a person is to be distributed in Islam is very wonderful. There is no other system which can do justice to all your survivors as it is done in the system given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a caring for your children, for your wife, for your parents, and even in some cases for your brothers and sisters if you don't have your own children. And this is how the assets are going to be distributed among them. That's so, as a Muslim, you have to follow this system. In some Western countries where you have to register your will officially, you can do it officially. But you can say that my assets should be distributed according to Sharia. And with this we come to the end of this session. وصلى الله تعالى على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.